Hey everyone, just a few final comments after our last discussion, and also here at the end of our intercession course. First and foremost, thank all of you for your hard work over the last 2 weeks. I know it hasn't been easy. These are very intensive classes, but you should all pat yourselves on the back for doing an excellent job with what was a lot of reading and a lot of writing. Hopefully, the writing came in manageable chunks in kind of different ways, so that it wasn't like just writing a bunch of essays. Um, so anyway, excellent work on that. Also, I learned a lot from you over the last 2 weeks. Um, it's 11:37 right now, so a few of us may be still finishing up the final projects. I look forward to reading all of those, and I'll be providing feedback on those this afternoon. Um, I hope, if everything goes to plan, that I will also have your grades submitted and figured up and done by this afternoon as well, or at least by the end of today. Um, I don't know how the CNM system is working currently because it seems to change quite often. But if it is still set up the way that it has been in times past, um, grades usually roll over on Tuesdays for whatever reason. So you might not be able to actually see your grade in my CNM until Tuesday, but it will be there. So anyway, that's all of that. Wanted to say excellent work on the last discussion. We had some very interesting questions, some great engagement talking to each other. I really enjoyed Shannon's question about who we would like to meet from New Mexico history, or a historical figure. So if you didn't contribute to that one or haven't read it, go and check that out on the discussion board. Some very interesting conversations and ideas there. And also, it's just an interesting thing to think about who you would want to meet that we've studied this semester. In terms of other ideas from this last discussion, I think one of the main themes that we all touched on, whether we did so directly or not, was the legacy of colonialism. That was a major theme over the whole 2 weeks, this whole entire course. We looked at the actual kind of violent Spanish colonialism of the 1500s and early 1600s. We looked at colonialism that took place when Mexico gained its independence. We looked at colonialism that was put into place when the United States conquered the Southwest through the U.S.-Mexico War. So something that I think that is important to keep in mind is that the legacies of the history that we've been studying in terms of civil rights and also how we relate to each other across ethnic groups, across gender, across culture, across religion, um, those things have a deep history. A few of us were talking about the idea of the Indigenous Peoples Resistance March, UNM, whether or not Columbus Day should be celebrated. And a few of us, made the remark that what's done is done, which is very true. We certainly cannot change the past and the way that things have worked out. Something that we do need to realize, though, is that much of the inequality that we see around us is historical. It has deep historical roots. And if we fail to recognize that and just think, well, everyone, we should just wipe the slate clean, move forward now because what's done is done, we miss we miss where we all stand. That kind of assumes that everybody can just stand at the same starting point, whether we're talking about economics or politics or social skills or education or whatever it might be. We're not at the same starting point. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But I think we need to realize that that is the case, and that the legacies of Columbus, of European colonialism, of whichever strain, are still very much with us. And they're still very much the reason that we have some of the inequalities that we do. And I think when we can recognize that, it's easier for us to have empathy for others and to understand where they're coming from, understand how we can help to support the civil rights of everyone. Because I do believe that, especially looking at history, not just New Mexico history, but even more broadly, if the rights of one group of people are threatened, the rights of everyone are threatened. And so hopefully as we leave this class, we move forward into the spring semester and whatever else it is we're doing, that's one of the things we can take away. We can become more engaged citizens locally as well as nationally. We have a presidential election this year, and we can try to understand what's going on now in terms of our history and from multiple perspectives. So hopefully this is bringing us full circle to that idea that there is no New Mexico history, but we have New Mexico histories. The same goes for the United States. There's no U.S. history, but U.S. histories. And if we can give room to hear all of those voices, whether or not we all agree with them, at least we can understand. And we can try to forge a way forward that will give room for everyone as best as possible, that will protect the human rights of everyone. So, anyway, that's my kind of big philosophical idea of what I often take out of studying New Mexico history. I hope that you've all had a great experience over the last 2 weeks. If you have any last minute questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And also, if you need any other history courses in the future, I'd love to see any and all of you in a class again. So, again, thanks for a great experience, and I wish you the best.